The Galactic Military Academy stood tall in the center of planet Elion 5. Its towers touched the clouds. Spaceships flew above like silver birds. Inside, students from many alien species trained every day to become warriors of the galaxy. And among them was one human. His name was Ryan Carter. He was the only human in the entire academy. And almost everyone laughed at him. "Look, it's the Earthling again," sneered a tall blue-scaled alien named Draketau. "What are you training for, human? Cleaning toilets?" All the alien cadets laughed. Some pointed. Some even threw small items at him. Ryan didn't say anything. He simply kept walking. His boots were old. His armor was basic. His weapons? Outdated. Compared to the high-tech tools of the other cadets, Ryan looked like a caveman. Ryan tried hard every day. He trained early, stayed late, read every manual, practiced every move, but no one helped him. No one wanted to partner with him. To the aliens, he was weak, slow, a joke. The instructors didn't care either. "You're not cut out for this." "Carter," said Instructor Vorin, a red-skinned alien with 4 eyes. "Maybe humans are better off on farms." Ryan nodded silently. Inside, his heart burned. But he didn't argue. He had come to prove himself. Not to cry. During a combat simulation, things got worse. Each cadet had to fight a moving drone in a battle ring. When Ryan stepped into the circle, the aliens all watched, waiting to laugh. The drone moved fast. It shot light pulses. Ryan dodged and tried to counter, but his armor was too slow. He got hit once, then again, then again. The crowd roared with laughter. Draketau shouted from the stands, "Maybe ask the drone for mercy, human." Ryan gritted his teeth and tried to block the next hit, but he fell. Flat on his back, the drone beeped in victory. "Instructor!" Someone yelled. He lost in under 1 minute. "Record time," another cadet mocked. Ryan stood up slowly. His muscles ached. His pride hurt even more. But he didn't quit. After the simulation, he was told to clean the Academy's lower storage decks as punishment for being too slow. It was dark down there, cold, dusty, full of old crates and broken tech. No one visited these halls anymore. As Ryan swept the floor, he felt tired, angry, alone. He paused near a giant metal wall. One of the crates had fallen and cracked. Behind it, something strange caught his eye. It was a door. But not like any other door in the Academy. This one had alien symbols carved all around it. It looked ancient, forgotten. Faded lights blinked softly on the sides. "What is this?" Ryan whispered. He reached out and touched the panel. A soft click echoed. The wall shook slightly. And then the door opened. A narrow hallway appeared, covered in dust and spiderweb-like threads. The air smelled old, like it hadn't been breathed in for centuries. Ryan looked around. No one was watching. His curiosity burned like fire. He stepped inside. The hallway led to a chamber. It was huge, like the inside of a ship. Wires hung from the ceiling. Old tech blinked dimly. Some lights flickered on when Ryan walked near. Was inside a forgotten spaceship. It didn't look like anything used by the Academy. Its design was different, ancient, powerful, almost sacred. In the middle of the chamber stood a control panel. On its screen, faded letters glowed. Vorax Armor Core, System Standby. Ryan didn't understand the words fully. But one thing was clear: this place wasn't meant to be found. Not by accident. He stepped closer. The air around him felt heavier, like something was watching him, waiting. Then, a new message appeared on the screen. "Only a pure heart may bond with the armor." Ryan's heartbeat quickened. Armor? What armor? Suddenly, the ground beneath him rumbled. A hidden wall on the side of the chamber slid open. Behind it floated a glowing object, black and gold, sleek and sharp. Armor pieces hovered in the air, turning slowly in place. They pulsed with power. Ryan couldn't move. He stood frozen, eyes wide. The armor looked like it was alive. His heart pounded in his chest. The teasing, the shame, the loneliness, all of it led him to this moment. Was this his chance to change everything? Asterisk. The silence inside the hidden ship was unlike anything Ryan had ever felt. No alarms. No footsteps. No voices. Just the faint hum of ancient power. Like a heartbeat trapped in stone. He took a slow breath. Dust floated in the air, glowing under the dim green lights that had somehow turned on the moment he stepped inside. The long hallway before him stretched into darkness, lined with metal walls covered in forgotten symbols. The floor felt solid but cold, like it hadn't been touched for centuries. Ryan walked carefully, each footstep soft and slow. He felt like an intruder, but also like the ship was waiting for him. As he moved deeper, the lights blinked out ahead of him, one by one, as if guiding him. Behind him, the entrance sealed shut with a gentle hiss. He was alone now, but not afraid. The air felt strange, thick with memory. He passed by broken panels and strange tubes filled with frozen gas. Everything inside looked old, yet not dead. At the end of the hallway, he entered a wide control room. The floor was cracked. The walls were covered in moss and rust. Some screens were shattered, but one screen still glowed. Ryan stepped toward it, brushing off the dust. The writing wasn't in human language, but somehow he understood it. Vorax Armor Core. Status, sleeping awaiting bond. Ryan's hand trembled slightly as he reached for the console. Before he could touch it, the screen flickered. A strange energy flowed through the room. Lights above him sparked. And then another message appeared. Who seeks the heart of war? Ryan didn't speak. He didn't know how, but something inside him answered silently. I'm no one. But I won't stay that way. The ship heard him. The room shifted. Suddenly, a low humming filled the chamber. The back wall cracked open with a deep groan, revealing a hidden chamber behind it. A soft white mist poured out, and floating in the center was the armor. It wasn't like the training suits at the academy. This was something else. Something alive. Black metal shimmered like liquid. Gold lines ran across the chest, arms, and legs. The helmet floated beside it, shaped like the head of a warrior god. Symbols pulsed on its surface, glowing brighter. As Ryan stepped closer, his heart pounded in his chest. He felt drawn to it, not because of its power, but because it felt lonely. Ryan reached out slowly. The moment his fingers touched the armor, light exploded through the chamber. He screamed. Energy surged through his body. His vision went white. His legs gave out, and he dropped to the ground. But the armor caught him before he hit the floor. Metal, wrapped around his limbs like water. It didn't feel heavy. It felt like it was choosing him. A voice spoke inside his head. Calm, deep, powerful. You are not strong. You are not wise. You are not ready. But your heart is pure. The armor sealed shut around him. Every piece locked in place with a whisper of sound. Suddenly, Ryan could see differently. The room was clearer. The air felt alive. He could sense the old systems of the ship, the controls, the broken wires. He could even feel the memories inside. The armor war, pain, battles long forgotten. Ryan gasped for breath. Sweat covered his face. What are you? He whispered. The voice answered. I am Vorax, last protector of the ancient galaxy. Your fight is only beginning. Ryan looked down at his hands. They were covered in sleek black metal. He felt stronger, lighter, faster. But before he could move, he heard something outside the ship. Footsteps. Ryan spun around. Someone had followed him. The door behind him hissed open again. A tall figure stood in the entrance. Alien, familiar. It was Zarnuk, one of the cruelest cadets in the academy. His eyes widened when he saw Ryan in the armor. What is this place? Zarnok growled. Ryan didn't answer. The armor whispered in his mind. He cannot be trusted. Zarnok stepped forward, scanning the room. So, the human found a secret. Found something powerful. How lucky. His voice dripped with jealousy. You think you can keep this hidden, Earth boy? I'll report this. The Council will tear this ship apart. That armor belongs to us, not you. Ryan said nothing. He just stared. The armor systems locked into place. Then came the voice again, sharper this time. Prepare. The first battle begins now. The armor wasn't just metal. It was alive. Ryan could feel it. Breathing, listening, watching through his eyes. As Zarnok stood at the entrance of the ancient ship, staring at him, Ryan didn't feel like the same weak, lonely cadet anymore. He felt different, taller, stronger, sharper. Inside his helmet, a second voice joined the first. Connection complete. Muscle sync, 100%. Neural link, active. Welcome bearer. Zarnok's mouth twisted in a sneer. You don't even know what you're wearing, human. That armor is probably cursed. Ancient junk. Ryan didn't respond. His eyes glowed behind the helmet, gold light reflecting off the ship's walls. The voice spoke again. The armor chooses only one. And it has chosen you. Zarnok took a step forward. Give it to me, now. Ryan tilted his head. The armor's systems scanned Zarnok in seconds. Biological makeup, weapon power, threat level, low. Ryan's lips curved into a tiny smile beneath the helmet. No, he said simply. Zarnok growled and raised his hand blaster. Fine. Then I'll take it by force. The shot came fast, but Ryan moved faster. In a blur, he sidestepped the blast. The armor helped him move, guided his balance, predicted every motion before he made it. He grabbed a nearby metal rod and threw it. It struck Zarnok's blaster and knocked it from his hand. Sparks flew. Zarnok stumbled back in shock. That's not possible, he gasped. You were nothing yesterday. Ryan took a slow step forward. Yesterday, I was unarmed. Today, I'm not. Zarnok turned and ran. He disappeared into the darkness of the corridor, his footsteps fading quickly. Ryan didn't chase him. The armor whispered, You are not ready for war yet. There's more to learn. Ryan looked down at his hands. The armor responded to every thought, every breath. It didn't just fit him, it completed him. Suddenly, the ship lit up around him. The walls pulsed softly. Symbols glowed. Hidden panels opened. Data streamed across ancient screens in languages he didn't know, but somehow understood. The armor was unlocking memories, not just Ryan's memories. The armor's. He saw visions. A warrior standing in fire, surrounded by enemies, holding a blade made of stars. Planets falling, ships burning. A dark shadow spreading across space, swallowing light. A voice screaming in the distance, Protect the core. The galaxy must not fall. Then silence. The vision ended. Ryan dropped to one knee, shaking. What was that? He asked aloud. The armor answered, You saw what I saw. The end of the old galaxy, the rise of the shadow. And the reason I was made. Ryan stood again. His hands curled into fists. That vision. It wasn't just a memory. It was a warning. The galaxy would face danger again. And now he was part of the fight. He turned to the control panel. A map of the galaxy blinked into life. Red dots flashed across systems, unknown. Threat levels rising. Ships missing. World silent. The same enemy that destroyed the past was waking again. The armor whispered one final thing. Train, grow. When the darkness comes, you must stand, or everything falls. Ryan left the hidden ship with the armor hidden under a simple cloak. No one recognized him as he walked back through the lower halls of the academy. But news was already spreading. Zarn, okay, had reported him. The instructors called Ryan to the command chamber. They demanded to see the armor. Ryan said nothing. He was told to rest. But he knew better. The galaxy didn't wait for orders. That night in his room, he stared at himself in the mirror, not the weak human they laughed at. Now he was something more, and deep inside the armor, something ancient stirred. A heartbeat, a memory, a promise. The first bond is made. The war is coming. The bearer is chosen. Let them mock the human. They will soon remember his name. Asterisk, the stars outside the academy window blinked peacefully. But inside Zarnok's mind, there was a storm. He sat alone in the empty hallway. Fists clenched, claws digging into his palms. The memory of Ryan wearing that living armor burned in his eyes. A human, a worthless earthling, had found something powerful. Something ancient. Something that should have been his. Zarnok punched the wall, denting the metal. I warned them, he hissed. I told them what I saw. And they laughed at me. Earlier that day, he had reported Ryan to the instructors. He told them about the forgotten ship, the glowing armor. The way Ryan moved like lightning, but the response was the same. From every official, Zarnok, jealousy doesn't suit you. Are you making up stories to hurt the human? There is no such armor registered in our database. They didn't believe him. And now Zarnok was angry. Very angry. He stood slowly, eyes glowing red. If they won't stop him, I will. In the academy training yard, Ryan practiced alone under the moonlight. He moved fast, his punches sharp, his footwork clean. The armor, now hidden under a normal cadet suit, still responded to every move, guiding him like a ghost partner. With every day, he felt stronger. Not just in body but in mind. But even he knew the peace wouldn't last. The armor whispered often now. Not with words, but feelings, warnings, urges. It told him to stay alert. That something was watching him. Ryan looked up. A shadow moved across the rooftop. A quick flash of movement, gone in a blink. He wasn't alone. That night, deep inside the Academy's underground simulation arena, something was being planned. Zarnok gathered a few trusted cadets, strong ones, angry ones. All of them had once mocked Ryan. All of them were now curious or afraid. He's hiding something, Zarnok growled. A weapon, a danger. If we don't stop him, he'll rise above all of us. But the instructors. One cadet began. They won't interfere. Zarnok cut him off. This isn't about school rules. This is about power, real power. He pointed to the arena below. Double quotes, tomorrow, we challenge him. A mock combat test. One human versus all of US. You want to beat him in front of everyone? No, Zarnok smiled coldly. I want to break him. The next day, a message arrived in Ryan's room. Urgent simulation challenge. You are required for advanced solo testing. He narrowed his eyes. It felt wrong, but he accepted. He walked into the arena and paused. Something was off. The arena, usually controlled by staff, was empty of instructors. Only cadets filled the stands, watching, whispering. And in the center, waiting, were 12 alien cadets, armored and armed. Zarnok stood at the front, smiling darkly. Welcome to the test, human. Ryan stepped into the circle slowly. This wasn't on the schedule. No, Zarnok said. But this is your lesson. With a signal, the lights dimmed. The arena floor locked down. And the attack began. The first blast came from the left, fast and hot. Ryan barely dodged, rolling to the side. The next came from above, plasma bolts raining like fire. The armor activated in pieces. Not all of it. Just enough to shield him. A chest plate, arm guards, a leg boost. He moved between the cadets like a shadow, striking only to disable. He didn't want to hurt them, but they had no such mercy. One of them swung a charged blade at Ryan's side. The armor caught it and shattered the blade with a spark. Ryan grabbed the attacker and threw him aside with ease. More came. Faster, harder. Ryan's single quotes S vision turned sharp. Time slowed. The armor fully awoke. Threat confirmed. Activating core sync. Energy surged through him. Black and gold metal wrapped over his entire body in seconds. The crowd gasped. Now they saw it. The armor they had laughed at, feared, doubted. Ryan Carter, the human, moved like lightning and thunder combined. He dropped his attackers one by one, non-lethal strikes, fast takedowns, precise defense. He didn't boast. He didn't scream. He commanded. Zarnok tried one last move, a hidden bomb charge aimed at Ryan's blind spot. But the armor knew. It redirected the energy, absorbing it, and sent a shockwave back that knocked Zarnok across the arena. The fight ended. Silence fell. Ryan stood in the middle of the ring, the armor glowing, his breath steady. Zarnok groaned on the floor, defeated. But Ryan just turned and walked away. Outside the arena, whispers spread like wildfire. Did you see what he did? That armor, it wasn't normal tech. The human, he's changed. In the control room, instructors watched a hidden feed. One of them leaned closer to the screen. This armor, I've seen it before, in ancient war logs. This could be dangerous. Another said softly, or it could be our only hope. The air still smelled like fire. Ryan stood alone in the locker room, water dripping from his face as he stared into the mirror. Behind his calm expression, his heart raced. His hands trembled, not from fear, but from what he had just done. 12 trained alien cadets. Beaten. By one human. By him. But it wasn't just him anymore. Was it? The armor sat silently inside his body, hidden again, resting like a beast that had gone back to sleep. It hadn't spoken in hours, but Ryan could still feel it. Deep inside his skin, heavy, watching. The crowd had cheered. The aliens who once mocked him looked at him differently now. Some with fear, some with respect, but not everyone was happy, especially not the academy leaders. High above the academy, inside a floating council chamber, voices argued in every language. Inhuman strength, unknown technology, a threat to galactic order. A massive green alien slammed a fist on the table. He wears a war relic from the ancients. He could destroy this entire academy if he turns against us. An elder voice spoke calmly. Or save it when the time comes. The debate continued, but one thing was clear. Ryan Carter was no longer just a cadet. He was something more. And that scared them. Back in his room, Ryan lay on his bed, staring at the ceiling. He hadn't slept. The armor kept feeding him flashes, memory echoes, a silver planet cracking apart, a warrior in black armor falling in battle, a dark fleet with ships shaped like knives, blotting out stars. He sat up, breathing hard. What are you showing me? He whispered. The armor finally responded. Your path is linked to theirs. The Shadow Fleet is returning, and you must be ready. The next day, the academy changed the schedule. No more group training, no public tests. Ryan was placed under observation. Confined, watched. They said it was for his safety, but Ryan knew better. They were afraid of him, and they weren't the only ones. Some cadets avoided him completely now. Others stared with quiet hatred. Whispers followed him through the halls, but Ryan didn't care. He trained harder, pushed farther. The armor adjusted to him, teaching him new movements, helping him control his energy, sharpening his reflexes. One night, deep in the secret ship, the armor gave him a new command. You must evolve, or you will break. Ryan entered a new chamber he hadn't seen before. Inside was a gravity dome, once used by the ancient warriors who wore this armor. The moment he stepped in, the door sealed shut. Gravity increased x10. His knees buckled instantly. Breathing felt like lifting mountains. But he didn't quit. He screamed, pushed, trained for hours. Each day, the gravity got stronger, and so did he. Elsewhere in the academy, Zarnok sat in silence, his body wrapped in healing gel. He watched replays of the arena. Battle again and again. Paused on Ryan's movements, his speed. His strength. Hatred burned in his chest. I was supposed to be the strongest. He sent a private message, encrypted, untraceable. To the outer clans, the human wears ancient armor. I will give you access to the ship, but I want him crushed. Ryan sat inside the ancient ship's bridge later that week. Suddenly, alerts flashed. Unauthorized access. Ship perimeter breached. The armor spoke inside his mind. Intruders. Multiple life forms. Armed, Ryan stood quickly. The lights turned red. He ran to the upper deck and saw them. Outer clan. Mercenaries. Tall. Armored. Silent. They didn't ask questions. They opened fire. Ryan dove behind a column. Blasts echoed through the ship's halls. The armor came alive. Again, you must protect the core. It surged through his body faster this time. No pain, no delay. Like it had become part of his blood. Ryan charged. He moved like wind-dodging energy blasts, striking with precise force. He disarmed one. Merc quickly, then kicked another through a wall. But they kept coming. 5, 10, 15. They swarmed. Ryan felt his muscles scream. The armor took hits. Sparks flew. Damage warnings blinked red in his vision. He fell to one knee. You must evolve or perish. Then something changed. From deep within the armor, a second core activated. A hidden mode. Limiters removed. Suddenly, everything slowed. Ryan stood again calm. His strikes became faster. His body moved on instinct. He wasn't just fighting in the armor now. He was fighting as the armor. The mercenaries tried to retreat, but it was too late. In under 1 minute, all of them were down. Not dead, but defeated. Ryan stood in the center of the hallway, his armor glowing white-hot, steam rising from the floor. He had unleashed his true power. Back in the shadows of the academy, a voice whispered through a communicator. He's getting stronger. Then send a message to the council. Another voice replied coldly. The human must be controlled. Or removed. Asterisk. The room was silent. Too silent. Ryan stood in front of the Galactic Council, surrounded by high-ranking aliens, glowing emblems, and cold, judging eyes. The floor beneath him was clear crystal. Below, stars drifted slowly across deep space. But above him, not one face showed warmth. Only fear. Human Cadet Ryan Carter. A deep voice spoke. You are hereby suspended from the Galactic Academy. Ryan didn't react. He had expected this. You accessed Forbidden's ancient technology, another counselor said. You activated a war-class artifact. You attacked other cadets, a third added. You are unstable, dangerous. Ryan clenched his fists, trying to stay calm. I didn't attack anyone. I defended myself. You ignored the truth. Silence, one counselor snapped. You are to leave this station at once. You are exiled until further notice. The guards stepped forward, but Ryan didn't wait. He turned and walked out on his own. He didn't look back. Hours later, the hidden ship's engines came alive. Ryan sat alone in the pilot chair, lights reflecting off his tired face. The armor rested inside his skin now, asleep but listening. He looked out the window as the academy vanished into the distance. Cold space stretched ahead. They were never going to accept me, he said softly. The armor spoke for the first time. In days, not yet, but others will. Ryan tightened his grip on the controls. Then let's find them. 4 days into exile, Ryan followed a trail of coordinates buried deep within the armor's memory. A distant star system. A dead planet, no name. No life signals, but the armor pulsed when they got close. The ship landed on cracked black rock. No trees, no wind. No light, only silence. Ryan stepped out, and the ground seemed to react to his presence, glowing softly beneath his boots. Like it remembered him. Or the armor. A massive structure stood in the distance. A temple, half buried. Ancient beyond words. Ryan entered carefully, his footsteps echoing off the stone walls. Inside were carvings, old ones. Hundreds of armored warriors, battles, destruction. And one symbol repeated over and over, VORAX. The name of the armor. He walked deeper. Found a control room filled with dead lights. But as he approached, the armor lit the chamber. Screens turned on. A voice played from the past. This is Commander Kellner. If you are hearing this, then the last Vorax armor has chosen a new bearer. Ryan froze. You must listen. We lost to the shadows. Our armies fell. Our cities turned to ash. But the armor you wear carries every battle, every mistake, every hope. The message ended in static. Ryan sat down, breathing hard. So it was true. The armor wasn't just a tool. It was a legacy. And now it was his. That night, Ryan stood under the black sky. He raised his hands, and the armor appeared around him in waves of light. It was quiet now, heavy, but he wasn't afraid. Teach me, he whispered. Then prepare. A new chamber opened inside the temple. A training zone, created by the ancient warriors. Ryan entered. The door sealed. And gravity slammed down, harder than anything before. His body screamed. But he didn't stop. He trained, for hours. Then days. The armor pushed him to his limits. His reflexes grew faster. His strength increased. His pain tolerance sharpened. He learned to fly short distances. To cloak in shadows. To strike without being seen. Every movement became part of him. He was no longer just wearing the armor. He was becoming it. Back at the academy, dark news spread like a virus. Outer colonies going silent. Trade ships missing. Stars blinking out. Whole moons left burning. The council held emergency meetings. Whispers of the ancient enemy began to rise. Could the human have known? Was he warning us? Did we exile our only chance? But it was too late. The Shadow Fleet had entered known space. Their ships were massive and silent, black blades floating across galaxies. They did not speak. They only destroyed. One night, as Ryan meditated inside the temple, the armor jolted awake. Alert. Enemy presence detected. Ryan stood up fast. The temple systems glowed red. Outside, he saw it. A fleet of black ships entering orbit. The same ships from the armor's visions. They had found him. Not by accident, but because they remembered the Vorax armor, and they feared it. Ryan stared into the sky. I'm not ready, he whispered. The armor replied softly, no warrior ever is. But you are no longer alone. He turned back toward the ship. His training was complete. It was time to return. Not as a cadet. Not even as a soldier, but as the last hope of a frightened galaxy. Asterisk. It began with a light. A single flash across the edge of the galaxy. Then another. And another. In seconds, hundreds of stars went dark, blotted out by the black wings of the Shadow Fleet. No warnings. No mercy. No survivors. Entire world screamed. And the Galactic Council, once full of pride and power, now whispered one desperate question. Where is the human? Far across the stars, on the broken temple world, Ryan Carter stood on a cliff of jagged stone. Wind howled around him. The armor covered his body like a second skin, no longer gold and black, but silver and burning white. Fully awakened, fully alive, the voice inside the armor was quiet now, not because it was gone, but because it trusted him. The ship beside him powered up. With a soft hum, Ryan stared toward the heavens. The shadow ships were coming. He could feel them like thunder in his bones. He reached out with one hand. The ship rose into the sky. It was time. The Galactic Academy was under attack. Black ships surrounded it, firing without pause. Shields cracked, towers crumbled. Students and staff ran in panic. In the command tower, counselors screamed orders. "We have no weapons strong enough. Our ships are falling. Where are the reinforcements?" Then a new alarm sounded. One they had never heard before. Unidentified ship approaching. Single pilot. The screen zoomed in. A sleek, ancient craft glowing with blue light cut through the battlefield. Like a sword through smoke. At its center stood a figure. A human, clad in armor that shimmered like a living star. Ryan landed on the Academy's main platform. Explosions rocked the sky behind him, but he didn't flinch. Cadets, soldiers, even instructors stared in silence as he stepped forward. Some gasped, others dropped their weapons. "Ryan?" One cadet whispered. "Is that really you?" He didn't stop to answer. He marched toward the council tower, and this time, they didn't stop him. Inside the main hall, the council rose. As he entered, his armor was cracked, burned, glowing from inside, but his eyes were calm, focused. "I warned you," Ryan said softly. "They're here, and they're not coming for land or money. They're coming to erase us." The council leader stepped forward, voice shaking. "What do we do?" Ryan looked around. And for the first time, he wasn't afraid to speak. "You listen. And you fight with me." He turned to the crowd outside. The armor lit up brighter. A message appeared across every screen in the Academy, every station, every ship, every colony. "This is Ryan Carter, the human you laughed at, the cadet you rejected. I found the last armor of the ancients, and I'm telling you now, we still have a chance. Stand with me, fight, and we will show the shadows who we are." The battle began. Ryan led from the front. He flew through the battlefield like lightning, punching through enemy ships, shielding allies, saving lives. The armor sang with energy. Blasts deflected off his chest. Rockets froze in midair. Shadow. Soldiers fell before they could fire, but they kept coming. More ships. More death. The sky turned black with enemies. Then something shifted. From across the stars, others arrived. Ships from outer colonies. Fighters from forgotten planets. Even aliens who once mocked Ryan now flew at his side. Because now they believed, not in the armor, but in the human inside it. Hours later, the sky was silent again. The Shadow Fleet was broken. The Academy burned in places, but it still stood. And on the highest platform, Ryan stood. His armor dim now, cooling. Around him, hundreds of warriors gathered. The war wasn't over, but hope had returned, and its name was human. That evening, as the stars returned to the sky, Ryan walked alone to the edge of the Academy's tower. Armor spoke quietly inside his mind. "You have passed the test. You chose courage, kindness, sacrifice." Ryan smiled faintly. "What happens now?" The armor replied, "Now, others will rise. You were never the final warrior, only the first of a new era." Suddenly, the ancient ship nearby lit up again. Another chamber opened, and inside, another set of armor glowed softly, waiting. A young alien cadet, the same one who once called Ryan useless, stepped forward wide-eyed and trembling. Ryan looked at him and nodded. "Go on," he said. "Your turn."